we just signed a deal with PMI, which is the toy company. That's a no risk, all reward business. I make some calls to the distributors that I know, have trusted me in the past and bought my products in the past. And my thing is to drive up brand awareness so much that once that product hits shelves, it sells. And eventually every quarter I get a check in the mail and that goes straight into my bank account and it becomes, a net profit win. I'm in the business of creating an IP that impacts so many people, that has so many followers across all social medias, that any brand would be dying to work with us, and they'd move our product in, certain verticals, and I would just collect a check at the end of every quarter, and hopefully those checks become so big that, we're making 20, 30, 40, $50 million of free cash flow. There's opportunities right now. If I buy Coinbase stock at $50, like Coinbase stock will be worth $500 one day, dude. It's Coinbase, like this thing is the future. So like, I rather have a more liquid investment and put my money there. So other than that stuff, like, I'm doing a little trading stuff and managing my portfolio accordingly. Like, I think I was a little too negligent on my portfolio on the downturn. So like just learning from my mistakes and making sure that I don't repeat them. But like, dude, I am so invested here. Like I am determined to make this work. Cause I think the bar is low, dude. Like, I don't think there's real operators in this space yet. Like, granted, you have Bored Ape, but like even then, like I think those guys are phenomenal, but like I don't think they're gonna sit here and tell you that like they're brand builders. Now they may be hiring brand builders, but like hiring a brand builder and being a brand builder and owning the business are two different things. Like you're never gonna say an employee is gonna work as hard as the founder. It's never gonna happen. Like you can never, unless your option package is that enticing that somebody's going to work at that capacity. Like you have to have stake in the game to really like push the boundaries. And I think they're so big, and like the main top project, the projects that I'm really competing with are so big that unless you're actually a brand builder as a founder, like the people that you're going to hire, unless you're paying them millions of dollars, like I don't think it's really going to move the needle that much or really have the effect. So I think I have a unique opportunity as somebody who's like got $3 million in the line to really push the boundary and like really pull my best resources that I know that I have and that I know how that I can execute on to really like push this thing forward. So
You were talking about the verticals earlier. So of course, like there's the NFT. You were talking about toys, maybe animation. I don't know what other use cases there are. Is there anything that like really grabs your interest at this point that you're like, man, this is an open field. Like somebody needs to run through this.
yeah, so the thing is, a lot of these companies are treat like Bored Ape, leaning into the game hard. So they're probably going to turn into a gaming company. And a lot of these guys are, picking singular value propositions and to what they lean into. And I think they're totally misinterpreting like how to run these businesses and how to look at them. I'm looking at the business like an IP business. So like as if I own Star Wars, right? So like I don't know if you guys know, but like Marvel and Disney and all these companies, like a majority of their revenue doesn't come from their movies or any of that stuff. It comes from licensing, right? Free
Same with
cash.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pokemon's one of
like
the biggest ones.
the money
This
comes
is
from
news to me.
yeah, the money comes from licensing. So it's a free cash flow business, no risk, all reward, right? So I don't incur any of the costs. There's no risk. If it fails, it doesn't matter to me. And I just reap my percentage of the profits for you being able to use my likeness. Treating this like an influencer, like a celebrity, which as you guys know, I'm pretty good at, I'm pretty tapped into that world. So the businesses is just create the leverage, create so much brand awareness that all the top brands are coming to me with licensing deals, right? And, we just signed a deal with PMI, which is the toy company. That's a no risk, all reward business. I make some calls to the distributors that I know, have trusted me in the past and bought my products in the past. And my thing is to drive up brand awareness so much that once that product hits shelves, it sells. And eventually every quarter I get a check in the mail and that goes straight into my bank account and it becomes, a net profit win. Didn't really cost me much. And all I do is reap the benefits and the rewards of the IP being valuable and people wanting to license the IP. Thankfully for me, I have some of the brightest licensing minds on the advisory board of our company, kind of like advising me on, what the proper approach is and what are my next steps are. But, that's the business that I'm in. I'm in the business of creating an IP that impacts so many people, that has so many followers across all social medias, that any brand would be dying to work with us. And they'd move our product in, certain verticals, and I would just collect a check at the end of every quarter. And hopefully those checks become so big that, we're making 20, 30, 40, $50 million of free cash flow. And then we build our core products, and our core products, I won't allude to that in a public, setting, because it's got to keep my aces up my sleeve. But that's how you do it. I just don't know how these guys are going to succeed. Like, unless you're Epic Games or, you're Bored Ape and you can work with an inoperable and, you can go do, $800 million in the bank account. Like, yeah, okay, you can do that. Like, but that's like an anomaly. Like these guys are like building games, like saying keywords and like, dude, no go-to-market strategy, no idea on how they're going to get consumers. Like, their value propositions are all wacky because they're just not business owners. They're not brand builders. They don't understand, they're first-time founders or first-time entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, it's going to be at the expense of their holders. But the point of the matter is, they just don't know how to build these businesses.